assignment, I'm actually going to do problem 1 of the 7 for you. So pull out a piece of paper, make sure you have your graphing calculator ready, and let's go. All right, so here's the assignment, and it says at the top, graph y equals sine x and compare it to the following. Draw a graph for each one and write how it is different from the parent function. So what you want to make sure you do is this first guy is right here. Oops, not the best circle there, but y equals sine x. That is our parent function. That's our base one. That's the one we know what it looks like. And what we're doing down here is we're adjusting it. We're adding 3. Now that plus 3 can be in the front or it can be in the back. We're subtracting 3 or adding a negative 3. Again, that can be in the front or in the back. Here we're multiplying it by 7 and negative 7. Here we're multiplying by 2 inside the parentheses before the sine x. And here we're subtracting something inside the parentheses before we take the sign of it. So here's what I'd like you to do on your calculator. And then write it on a piece of paper. You're going to number 1 to 7. Please don't forget number 7 over here. So the first one in y1, you're going to put y equals sine x. And then for problem 1, you'll put y equals 3 plus sine x in. So let me pull up my graphing calculator here. And I've done that already. Now I'm just going to go up here and unselect that so I can show you or review with you what sine x looks like. First, make sure your mode, if you haven't done so already, is in radian. You'll see mine's in degree, so it's a good thing I checked. And when I go to graph, I'm going to choose zoom and number 7, Z trig, because if you remember, that counts off the x-axis by 45 degrees if you're in degrees, but we're in radian, so it counts it off by pi over 4. So this right here is it counts it off by pi over 2 is what I'm noticing here. This is a regular sine graph, and it starts right here at the center at 0, 0. This is pi over 2, 1. This would be pi, which is 0. 3 pi over 2 is negative 1, and 2 pi up here is 0. So there's your one sine wave, and obviously it keeps going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in y2, and I already had this in, so I don't have to put it in. I'm just going to select it. It's going to graph both of them. So here's the first one in blue, and then in red is the second one. So I would put a number 1 on my paper. I would graph number 3, and then I would think, how are they different? Well, if I look at the blue and the red, now yours might be all one color, and that's fine. It's just this fancy calculator I have on the computer. Regular sine starts in the center at 0, 0. Now I'm starting at 0, 3. So the entire graph has just been shifted up 3. So then I will go back to y equals, delete or clear what I have in that one, go back to my document here, and then I'm going to put in number 2. I'll put it in, draw a picture of a piece of paper, and then compare it to always go back and compare it to this guy up here. Make sure you're always on y1. We're getting 7 over here. I made that darker just because it's a little different. Because basically in all these, you're going to draw a graph and say how those numbers affected it. But 7, I want y equals sine x in one and y equals sine of x minus 2 pi in the other, and tell me how they are different. I hope that helps.